Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. No, good evening. Good evening, people. How are you? This is Spirit Journey. Yes, today is Monday, November 3, 2024, and the time is about 12 after 6 p.m. Rwanda time. Yes, hello, viewer. Hello. How's the audio? Yeah, I'm filming in a different room on a different device, and I'm in a nice, dark, quiet room. I like when it's dark in the room. It's sunset, and it's almost completely yeah. There's a slight hint of light in the sky before it all goes away. It's beautiful. Yes, I am thinking about news that I heard about, I think it was 2 days ago, that I got the news about, I was watching a YouTuber, and that YouTuber mentioned about the euthanization of a poor little squirrel and a raccoon. The name of the squirrel is Pnut, and I forget the name of the raccoon. May they both rest in peace. I was very angry, and I was meaning to do uh, a video about it, but I got distracted. And I particularly felt for the owners lost. Yeah, many of you who watch my channel, I have an adorable little Pekingese by the name of Lavender. And Lavender had a close call a couple of days ago when I got to the vet, um, and the vet told me, behind the scenes what was going on. He didn't really want. He let me know that my dog had a fever, but he really didn't want me. He thought the dog was going to pass away. Yeah, yeah. So my little boy Lavender, he's home with me. He got home on Saturday afternoon, and he's eating. And so I'm happy about that. Yes, he has to gain his weight back. Yes, he lost a tremendous amount of weight, but his fur looks so good and very full, so you can't really tell to the extent how much he lost. Yeah, that scale doesn't lie. And yeah, so I have to put that food on him. My little dog had some tooth extractions done, and not as bad as the vet thought. The vet thought it was worse than it was, but he cleaned his teeth first, scaled the dog's teeth, and then really to see what he's dealing with. And he saw, hey, like 2 or 3 teeth were pulled. So I'm hoping that healing. He said that about 10 days it should heal up pretty nicely, and to bring it back for follow-up. Yes, I'll do that. I understand about the sensitivity of animals, and I had 2 little girl fur babies that passed away earlier this year in January. So, and they died 5 days apart of each other, and it still bothers me about that. But just imagine this man. Yeah, in fact, I want to show you a little clip. Yeah, this man, he's from Connecticut, or lived in Connecticut, and he rescued this little squirrel who's something happened to the mommy squirrel, and he took the little squirrel and gave it love and brought it back to health. And he had this squirrel for 7 years in his home upstate New York. He started this farm to rescue animals. And this little squirrel was an internet star. And he opens up a foundation or something like that, to raise money to take care of abandoned herding animals on this farm. Well, someone called the authorities on him, saying that wild animals in somebody's house. And I want to talk about that too. So let me first show you the video, little clip of the squirrel. So I'm going to share my screen. This take a few moments. Okay. I also share tap on you. Okay. Let me play it. Yeah, I'm not gonna. It's a little guy. Yeah, I don't have the audio on, but this is the owner. And this is the little guy, Pnut. Look at that, isn't that cute? And that's the fun he has to take care of animals. And the DEC, multiple reports about the potential unsafe housing of wildlife. He's on a farm. That poor little squirrel, man. Yeah, and in fact, squirrels, you can easily, I don't know what that, I don't think he has an alligator. Oh, yeah, somebody else. See, banking with Pnut. That's cute. It's a friendly little squirrel. Okay, so I stopped sharing that. Okay, so hold on back on. So yes, you have, that was Pnut the squirrel, and he explained, the owner explained that one that, recently, I don't know the exact date when all this happened, but he said from 10 to 15 agents with weapons came to his house, this farm, and escorted him out of his house for 5 hours, ransacked his home to try to find a squirrel and a raccoon. Yeah, he had both a squirrel and a raccoon. They said, that wild animals could be a danger to society because they can have rabies. Yeah. They had this in for 7 years. And I'm angry at this because it's like a Gestapo. And they start to judge and get authorities on you with weapons. He couldn't even tend to his animals on his farm for 5 weeks. He couldn't feed them, give them water. See that? They have agencies, government agencies, and some of them are exploiting their power. And so I ask myself, hey, yeah, I almost forgot. So upon after 5 hours, trying to locate the squirrel and the raccoon, they took the animals and then they euthanized them to determine if they had rabies. That they could have just put the animal in quarantine and understanding that this little animal, this little Pnut, a raccoon, has been with them for years. And they have a foundation based on, the Pnut, raising money, taking care of neglected and wild animals. Was that necessary? Was it necessary? What is going on? 10 to 15 law enforcements because someone said something about him. Wow. Could you imagine, people? Could you imagine someone doing this? It's overkill. Sorry, it is overkill to exert that type of force. I mean, if it's about public safety, then how come during that pandemic, as I call it, how come during the pandemic we had in New York City rats, an infestation of rats in the street? Why didn't they get law enforcement get those animals out? Why they're letting illegals coming in, and many of them don't have a place to live, loitering. Back in the day, if a Black American did what they do and just stand outside, that's considered loitering, and you would be arrested. I'm just saying what history did. If Americans did what they were doing, they would be arrested for loitering. So how come in New York, the state of New York, why is the state of New York, where I'm from, I'm born, raised, went in the military, why are these things happening? Why are we going out our way, getting 10 to 15 agents to bust in someone's door for a search warrant for a squirrel and a raccoon, and he's out on a farm? There are plenty other things to do. They can go and look around in the city and get these illegals that are a danger to the masses. They could attack. They can have diseases. They could be affiliated with criminality, and many of them are criminals. People from insane asylums, and they are being weaponized against you, people. But when they do these raids on people's homes, you don't think it costs money? It costs money. It costs money to get the agents. And then, also the time required to bring the paperwork to a judge to approve a search for a little squirrel that's been there for 7 years, an internet sensation, bringing hope to people. raising money for his farm to take care of neglected animals. Well, definitely it sounds like to me that somebody hates that man. There are people who are jealous of those who do good and the competition. And oh, he got a wild animal in his house. Angry. Who gives a crap if he has a squirrel in his house or a raccoon? There's a YouTuber out there who does videos. He has like a backyard, a bench, on the porch, and he's surrounded by these raccoons and he feeds them. Yeah, it's his business whether they have a raccoon or he's on a farm. It reminded me also many years ago, over 30 years actually. I used to live in St. Thomas, the US Virgin Islands, and there was a woman that I met. She had a daughter, a very young girl, and the Caribbean, it was that particular island's very hilly, and allegedly, she's telling me the story that someone was complaining that they have a goat, and they saw the goat go in the house. I couldn't give a crap if a goat, a sheep, a pig, they're living beings. And if something can control them, so, who am I to judge? I think that's really sweet. Isn't that? I mean, come on, some people love animals. And some animals, you might be able to domesticate them a bit, they're well behaved. I mean, some people can't even be trained, whether they have a goat in their house, who cares? You have jealous people because animals, people who attract animals and feel safe with them, see, they're special of God, in my opinion. They're special people. And that little animals trust them and they go in the house or whatever. So what? So what? But you have the drug dealers. Oh, we don't have manpower to investigate that. Oh, the school. Problem with the school. Oh, we don't have enough money to put law enforcement, people to protect the students. But yet they spend all this money and time for a squirrel and a raccoon. We have a southern border, that is being unmanaged. And any riffraff could enter. Terrorists could enter. See, they initially try to use the race card, or you just don't like people from Latin America. The border allows, there's over 100 something nations that cross that southern border, not just Mexicans. Over 100 nationals enter through that border. And no accounted for, and the money and the resources. So I started thinking, what is the mindset of people, especially those officials in New York, where I'm from? Yeah, New York City is very corrupt people in office. And you do have a lot of people, a lot of so-called people of color in these positions, it seems. And it's not good. Lack of performance, lack of priorities, and it's becoming filthier. Yet you got all these people without jobs, yet they're not using those people who are jobless. Hey, to clean the streets, clean the subways. Oh, you can't clean the subway because it's a union. The MTA unions, well, the unions aren't doing their job. They collect the money, but they're not doing it. It's horrible. It's unsafe. And so I started asking, what is the meaning behind little Peanut and the little raccoon? They're being euthanized. Just, it's not about safety. If it's about safety, human safety for the neighborhood, why they're letting these criminals out in the street, these illegals, and they're siphoning out our resources. It is retarded. It is, it's no excuse. It's not about protecting people, it's about control, in my opinion. The control of you, the control of, hey, we can use this little squirrel and raccoon incident as a means to exert our authority over the public. And they want to see how far they can go. They want to see how far they can go. And so they took it, and this is upstate New York, on a farm. Farms have animals. Yeah, you have a crisis at the border, a crisis in New York City, and New York is spending its resources. A governor. We have a governor of New York, and I guess the mayor of that town where that farm is. But to go out of your way, we need a search warrant. We have to get those animals. They can have rabies. Well, people can get a lot. Well, how come they were forcing us to take the jab? And that's jeopardizing a lot of people's health, it turns out. People have died from that so-called medicine. It's not about public health. It's not about safety. It's about control. And to hurt the public and to hurt animals. People, be very, very careful about who you're going to elect into office for the next 4 years, especially you New York people. You're bombarded by illegals, criminals. Some of you have to wait 4 or 5 months to see a doctor because there's no room in the inn. Because someone is being favored over you, Americans. Some foreigner who wants to suck out your resources, who do not want to learn the language, the customs, etc., and feel entitled. And maybe some of them could have been lied to. So, you want to go in? Oh, we give you a fast track to citizenship, or we'll take care of you. And then they wind up on the street. And they say, hey, wait a minute. You lied to us. Yeah, that could happen too. That could happen too. And now they're on the street. And winter again, it's approaching. It's fall right now in New York City. Fall weather, it's getting cold, cold, cold. Where are these people going to stay? What about the food? What about the US citizens and legal residences in the state of New York, New York City? What are they supposed to eat? The cost of things are skyrocketed. But yet New York is willing to take money, manpower hours, to ransack a man living on a farm with his woman, to track down a squirrel and a raccoon, and then getting them, then they euthanize them. Euthanize means to unalive them. Or we just want to see if they had rabies. You just put them in quarantine if that's the real. No, it's about jealousy. Maybe he had political opinions on something, who knows? But yeah, he has an enemy, all right. May whoever who did that, may you sow what you reap. You care about about the welfare of people. You could have gone down to him, say, "Hey, I'm concerned that you got this wild animal. What do you care about that person? If that little animal had rabies, the owner is unaffected by anything, and you know damn well doesn't have any rabies." See, I don't like liars. The Creator hates liars, and you're lying on him, and you're concerned about him, causing the death of innocents, and may the blood be on you, whoever who um, squealed on this man. You know, not even squealed, but lied on him. Oh, he might have rabies. Oh, brother, horrible. Yet some of those illegals, they might have rabies. Who know what they have? And you let them in, and they're causing havoc on many of the public. Yeah, I am very, very sad that the state of humanity, New York is. I am born and raised in New York City. I loved New York City. Yes, it has. I have to wait for the plane go. Sorry, it's a plane going by. Yes, it's an evil place. It is progressively getting more and more evil. It's filthy. It's unclean. It's no unity anymore because now you have all these people from all over the world that are living around. Sorry about that. Let me turn off my phone. Turn that off. But it won't come off. Okay, sorry about that. Boy, that was loud. Yeah. Yeah, when it rains, it pours. Yeah, when it rains, it pours. The humanity is suffering right now. You have some good people in New York City. And I have family still living in New York City. Well, I should say the state of New York. I'm very sad. You're having this activity in New York to use all its resources to try to find a squirrel and a raccoon so that you can kill it. Where is your humanity going? And this current administration in New York City and in the country as a whole, where has it gone? Where is it going? It's an evil. There is evil plaguing my country of birth. What's happening? It's showing the mindset of these people that are in office. This current administration is someone that despises the natural order of things, life, nature, and any nation that pushes abortion on demand. I mean, if you want to push prevention, you can promote prevention of pregnancies to occur. But to have a nation that pushes abortion, even after the birth of the baby, how could the Creator bless that nation? We have a current administration. See, people don't want to hear about this. People love, see, they push sex in the picture. They push sex, but no responsibility. And then you become the victim. We need to do some more thinking before who we sleep with. We're just impulsive. We're not thinkers, and we don't think of the consequences. And then you want to have a law passed so then you can murder your child. The Creator's not going to bless that part. Look in those neighborhoods where they have those abortion clinics. Look at the state of that neighborhood. It lacks soul. It's a spirit of death. It is no life in it. And it makes me sick. It makes me sick of the practitioners that are there. Yeah, I knew someone that worked in a clinic like that. Yeah, and then when the girl wants to have a baby in the future, a lot of times they can't get pregnant because the doctors scratch and damage the uterus. And then she can't conceive a child in the future. You got to start thinking using your head. They don't want you to think. They want you to be impulsive. And the type of music that's being promoted to promote a lascivious lifestyle. Yeah, so when you start listening to trash, you become trash. And then, you got to run to that clinic. It's a mindset. See, it's a mindset, what it's revealing about our nation. We are a corrupt nation that despises the natural order of things and purposely doing things that harm the masses of people through illegal immigration, because it is to be weaponized. It's not just bringing in, you don't care about these people. You're using them to weaponize future elections. And also, I feel it's to replace Black America and conservative white people. To remove us, because we are a large demographic. Get rid of us. Have these new people, and you don't have to pay them. Cheap labor, cheap politics, and cheap lives. It's disgusting. It's like you go out of your way to spend money on trivial matters. We have a border. We have the elections coming up. And there's already indications of voter fraud. Voter fraud. They're so desperate that they're doing things, but taking like the milk drop-offs, they're lighting them on fire. You're crazy. Crazy. I never heard of things like this. My past 40 years of voting, I should say, to be able to vote. 40 years, 43 years actually, 43 years. Wow. What is going on? I never saw this. And it's a reflection where we're headed. We're heading down the pit of despair. It was a beautiful country. I'm from New York City, as I said before. It was a pretty city. I loved the city. I loved Manhattan. I did all my business in Manhattan, but it was getting bad. The subways were filthy. They lack motivation. They're lazy, many of them. Just filthy, a dirty mindset. Dirty area, dirty minds. And then on top of it, the illegals. They're just camping out. We have American children that won't be able to sit in a chair because it's occupied by an illegal. You need translators. They may not speak English. And your American kid who speaks English, his or her education is being hampered now. And they do this in large cities, primarily where Black America lives. Where I lived in New York City before I left, they had a hotel that got converted to house these illegals. And I'd be angry. Angry because the area where I lived, the Blacks that lived there, Poorville, the Blacks that lived there, they lived in what they call halfway houses or the single room occupancies. These are usually like former, jailbirds. When they get out of jail, they need a place to stay. Or the homeless, and they get into these units. But poverty. Even I said, boy, what's happening to New York City? The Blacks said where I lived, it was just they're out of their mind, lost hope. Many of them, they're drug addicted. And then this immigration, and it's replacing us. It's designed to replace me and my fellow Black Americans and the white community. And I'm very, very sad. I had to make a decision for myself. I said, I heard bad things that may be happening in New York City. Yeah, the election today is here in Rwanda is November 4. This day is almost over. It's after 6 p.m. Tomorrow morning, tomorrow is election day. Yeah, we're about now, I think, 7 hours ahead of you guys. Okay. So, yeah, the election day is tomorrow. And I knew for me, I did not want to, because I heard some news 2 years ago about, or even more, that there's trouble ahead and something about DC. These remote viewers had said, this either was right after the election, but some that is going to be attacked. That's what this remote viewer said. They had 5 remote viewers, and they all came to the same conclusion. And when I heard that, I said, I don't want to be around the country. I mentally don't think I could take that if something like that happens. So if, they said that they see an annihilation, the destruction of either said the White House or the Capitol, something, but it's to get demolished or something like that. And I got scared. And I mentally can't handle that. I love my country. I love America. I am an American. I am a veteran. And the thought of something happening to my country, I'm sad. But I knew for me, I said, I don't think I want to be around in the country if something like that to happen. and other things happened to me there. Um, yeah, you don't get it's a lot of corruption. In the medical fields, a lot of corruption, a lot of corruption. And the cost of medical care, the cost of medical care is high. And the quality of care stinks. Someone tried to steal my dog. Yep, around 9 o'clock or 9:30 in the morning, rush hour. Yeah, I had all three of my little fur babies back then. It was around August of last year, and that happened. And I said, it's the last straw. I want to get out of here. I felt I was being trapped in my apartment. I would have to leave my house early enough and get back to avoid certain things. Yeah, they go crazy. And the police are corrupt. So even though I'm not against police officers, not at all, especially being a veteran. You need uh, people to, people to protect the citizens. It's different when you say you're there to protect the public, but when that uh, agency uses those people to harm the citizens, then that's wrong. The mindset of some of these cops. Yeah, there you have a lot of bias. I had an incident with the cops, but that was about 2 years ago. Let's see, that was either 2021 or 2022. It was the day before Thanksgiving. Yeah, I was assaulted in the street. I was crossing the street and was assaulted. And the cops, the leading cop, was upset when I said, "That's the lady that attacked me." I was just angry and I was just yelling. And I said, "I want her arrested and prosecuted." So I was just babbling out. I was really angry. That never happened to me, to be assaulted like that. I mean, you have the weirdos, the sex perverts in New York City. Yeah, that was an incident too. But yeah, they got angry. And I knew at that point when the cop yelled at me. It took 4 cops to subdue this female. About 4 cops it took. And once they had her subdued, and she'd sit on the ground, that come over, I said, "That's the woman that attacked me. I want her arrested and prosecuted," something like that. And he gets angry at me. And I knew, and he yelled at me. He yelled back at me in defense of the girl that attacked me. And I knew from that point on that I had to be silent because this cop, I felt, would have arrested me, the victim. They put her in the ambulance before me. And I'm the one that hurt. Well, because she vomited. Oh, the poor, she was drinking. She was drinking. She was intoxicated and drinking. And the cops said, "Oh, she didn't, some about her medication for schizophrenia." Oh, wow. Yeah, they put her in Bellevue, and then 6 days later, she's out on the street. See, that's what I mean. See, it's a culture of stupidity. You have a culture of stupidity that is dominant in New York City to let the perpetrator, the pervert, out on the street to hurt you. And then they said, "We don't have money to do." Well, if you did your job the first time, it would have saved money. If you kept the border closed, you would have protected more people, the innocent people that got harmed. by these illegal criminals. It's a setup. And this current administration in America has gone berserk, is abusing its authority. And this is just a small taste what you're going to get in the future. If the current administration stays in power with this new election coming tomorrow, you are in for a butt whipping. You're in trouble, America. Someone who's willing to use his resources to kill a little squirrel and a raccoon, but yet deny the true protection of its citizens. When that woman attacked me in the street, a crazed individual, and then you let her back on the street 6 days later near my neighborhood. She was maybe 3 blocks from my house. The attack happened in another location. And then she winds up somehow in my neighborhood. And she even approached me and asked me for money. Hello, people. Yeah, this is a F up society. It's not about protecting its people, its citizens. It is about control. And they want to form a global society where you all can be a slave. So the equality or the equity, that's what what Kamala says, equity. Well, this equity is translated into you are all going to be a slave under her system. She is implementing a socialist, communist type of governance. And she's utilizing the fear of Black women, in my opinion. She's utilizing the fear that some Black American women have. Fear against being controlled by the bad white man, right? They pull up, present Trump as that bad white man against the Black race. I am from New York City. President number 45 is from New York City. And all my time of knowing of him for the past 40 years, he's never done anything against our Black community. And some of us from the Black community, we're not using our head. And we're thinking with our emotions because we watch all this crap on TV about slavery, this and that. When you are a slave to your own mentality, you are becoming enslaved by the rap music industry. You follow these trends that lead you to Death Valley. It's nothing good about the hip hop rap culture. And look at the person, the main person now, who is now in jail waiting to go to trial. So many victims of people who are flocking because they want to be a star, like the people they see in the videos. He had such an opportunity to lift up the Black community, set up schools or job training, all these things to uplift Black America. But he didn't. He abused his authority. He abused your trust. And then it happened. He's now in custody. But I'm sure there are many other around him, many others that are doing the same thing. Just like R. Kelly. You think he's the only one that did what he did? You have these young girls. And unfortunately, their families don't teach them to value their bodies and act like a fucking prostitute, some of these young girls. Because many of them, their mothers act the same way, act like trash because they don't know their true value. And they think the only way to get is to sleep with the guy or girl, whoever, so they could have the life what they see on a video. It's very, very sad. And it's fooling you. There's no beauty in these lifestyles. Here as a nation, we've come a long way. And then what you do, you throw it all away for a video. Wow. It's very sad. Yeah, it's not no white man that's causing this. Your own community. You're allowing drug dealers, all this riffraff in your community, but someone is calling up on a dude because he got a squirrel and a raccoon in his house. Oh, let's call the authorities on him. And they brought 10 to 15 armed individuals. And the owner, the man, the farmer, is held like as if he's being arrested. And he can't help it or tend his other farm animals. He can't feed them or give them water. And it's 5 hours that these men ransacking his home. 5 fucking hours. 5, count it, 5 hours to find a squirrel and a raccoon. You don't think they could have utilized the manpower hours constructively somewhere else? They could have said, hey, we heard that you have an animal. We're concerned that it might have rabies. Could you come down and to interview or something to want to, have the animal in quarantine? Is it, well, this animal's been living with me for 7 years, blah, blah, blah. And they could show the videos. Yeah, the squirrel was a big hit on the internet. There's reasons behind everything. Yeah, this system, the current administration has constantly demonstrated its evil heart. How people treat animals is a reflection on what they feel about humanity. And they think you're animals too. And they're treating you all like animals. It's filthy in New York City. They don't care about you. And they want to take over your life, change it into a dictatorship. Why do I say dictatorship? Because when someone keeps using the term, we want to make everything equal, but we didn't all start out equal. It's about equity. Well, Kamala is not middle class. Kamala Harris, the vice president, is from a high-end family. Along generationally. Not even Trump. Trump is a second generation wealthy man. But Kamala, generation after generation, on her mother's side and father's side. Kamala's mother is a Brahmin Indian. That is the highest caste class system of that culture of India. Mother is on the top of a social class. And on the father's side, a long line of slave owners, and has a town named after their ancestor, the Browns family of Jamaica. This is an affluent woman raised in affluence. She is never, and she's lying to you, saying that she's middle class. She is not from a middle class. She wasn't raised middle class. And she's not even married to a Black person, yet she wants to call herself a Black woman. And none of the people in her book that she claimed is her relative. It's not her relative. Her father is of was that of was that British and Syrian Jew, and I think also Indian from India. So like a three racial system: Scottish, or I think Scottish or some type of British, Syrian Jew, and possibly as well Indian, because the two people, the father and mother, were able to get married. The mama being of a Brahmin caste, they're forbidden to marry outside of their caste system. And they allowed it, and they didn't ostracize the daughter. So most likely he also probably has that mixture too. She's coming from privileged, and just watch some of the documents that they're finding on Kamala's ancestry. Now again, your ancestry is your ancestry. You have no, you cannot control what happened 100 years ago, but you have control over what you tell people. And when you cover what you're really about and lie about who your relatives are, that is a problem. If you lie about who your grandma is, there's a reason why you're lying on who your grandma is, because you're hiding information about your family. You're hiding. It shows lack of character. Their family is involved, especially the father. Father is a communist. And so what you go to get involved with, what you put into power, is going to use you and discard you. I'm afraid for that to happen to America. I feel if she gets into the presidency, again, she started out with nothing. She wasn't even within her own party elected. There was a coup in that Democrat Party. They kicked out the president, so he cannot run for president. And then they put Kamala in there. No one voted for her. She was placed, so she didn't earn her current situation. She wasn't nominated to represent the Democrat Party. She was placed in it. And I'm concerned that she gets in, that her colors, her true colors, you ask her direct question, it's that you don't get a direct answer. You vote for who you want to vote for. But ask yourself, are you only saying, well, I want her to win because I don't like the personality of so-and-so? That is your business. That is your business. But be careful. Be careful what you wish for. Why? Who is this person? Just like Obama. What about Obama when he initially ran? His background's also very sketchy. Be careful about who you bring into your community and who's claiming to represent you. You don't want another Obama full of lies. He didn't represent you. He didn't come to help you during from 2020 to now. The Black community was in a bad state. How come he's not doing community organizing once he left office to help the Black community? He never did that. His life, he just has a new life doing his thing, and then now he's coming back and trying to shame some members of the Black community to vote for Kamala. And he did the same thing when Hillary was going into office. If you don't vote for me, you're ruining my legacy. His legacy is already screwed up. He is a loser and a liar. He lied to the Black population about what he represented. He lied to us. And then he's trying to shame us to force us to vote for someone who's not there for us, and lying about her heritage. Initially, she called herself an Indian. Now, when she's running for presidency, now she wants to call herself a Black person, but yet does nothing to uphold the Black community. If she really cared about the Black community, she wouldn't be putting these illegal aliens in our communities and sucking all our resources. Use your logic and reasoning. Is that reasonable to do that? Someone could come and say, I love you, and then do these horrible things to you. An administration that's willing to use all its resources to find a little squirrel named Pnut and a raccoon so that they can kill it. This is the signs of the times of evil. This is an evil administration running America. People, be careful. And if you need to leave the country, leave when you can. Be careful. Again, it's your right who you want to vote for. You vote for who you want to vote for. I never condemned anybody because who they vote for. I've been able to vote for 40 years. This has never been an issue. We're losing humanity. We're losing trust for one another. And we're hurting. The country's hurting. And I see it falling. Please, use your reason. Use your reasoning behind your vote. Use your reason. Ask yourself, do you want another 4 years of chaos, of communism, or communism-like activity? Someone who can just bust into your house because you got a fucking squirrel in your house. Yeah, you call regarding that we had rats in New York City during the pandemic. And did anybody get the agencies to go and get them? They didn't. But they're going to go into your house. This was a private house that they barged in, 10 to 15 agents bashing his house and held him like hostage in his own house for 5 hours while they go ransack his property to find a squirrel and a raccoon. This is an evil. They are doing these things to see how far they can go. They're going to be going in your house for any reason. If you have a different political opinion on things, they can target you. They can target you and target your family and have a so-called neighbor spy on you and say, oh, you have this animal in your house, or they can make up lies on you. And then they go in your house like a Gestapo. Anybody who's opposing the current administration, they use Gestapo-type techniques, bash in your house, hold you like hostage, ransack your house, Did you know when you get things ransacked, they damage things, and you are stuck with the bill. They're showing you what they're going to do to you in the near future. They're going to control your every activity. America, wake up. Wake up. Do you want the current administration to stay in power and ransack your house because of some squirrel and raccoon? And they're not looking into closing the border and keeping you safe? They're lying to you, people. They are lying to you. So I've said a lot already. I'm really sad about what the demise of Little Peanut, what it means, and its connection with the presidential election. It's a mindset. They said they're going to go and get you and they can euthanize you. Please don't let them do that. I love America and I love its people. And I'm sad that I had to leave for my safety. Please be safe, people. I care about you and I want the best and safety for your family. Thank you again for this opportunity to speak to you. Peace, love, joy, and power be unto you. And yes, vote wisely. Yes, I did vote. I did. I mailed in my vote a month ago. I hope they got it. Yes, vote wisely and protect your family. Thank you again. Have a great, great day. Bye bye.